Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Broku back, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball video. And today's video is, what if future Trunks and future Gohan went back into the time chamber? So, obviously this takes place before future Gohan dies, and they decide to go in the time chamber. But before we get into this video, guys, please leave a like if you do enjoy, comment down below, saying what you think. Subscribe if you are new, turn on notifications if you want to see my videos. Also, please follow me on Twitter, and if this video does get 1,000 likes, there will be a part 2. So, future Gohan and future Trunks, they had no chance against the androids. They had nowhere near the power, and the androids had unlimited stamina. Despite repeated attempts, Zenkai boosts, and unlocking the Super Saiyan transformation, even future Gohan was not enough. Gohan was left visibly scarred and was missing his arm. Trunks at the time, he was way too young, and therefore way too weak to make much of a difference. However, Gohan and Trunks, they constantly trained so that one day, after Trunks went Super Saiyan, they could one day take on the androids as both as Super Saiyans and one day take them out. But, as we know, it never worked out. Gohan would be killed off by the androids, leaving Trunks by himself. Trunks would eventually go off to the past and eventually get stronger due to the time chamber. This would lead him to actually being strong enough to easily take out the androids by himself with a single blast. But what if future Trunks and future Gohan had somehow found out about the time chamber before Gohan's death? Let's say it's in the same time period where Gohan dies. But Gohan goes to Korin Tower, they keep going up, and they meet with Popo. Popo has been lonely because he doesn't have Kami with him. You know, Piccolo died in the past, Piccolo and Kami are the same people, so they both die, and bye-bye Dragon Balls. They ask Popo if they can use the time chamber for a day, so they can stand a chance against the android menace. Gohan and Trunks enter the time chamber, because Popo obviously will let them, and the beginning is really just focused on one thing, getting Trunks to unlock the Super Saiyan form. This would likely take a couple months out of their training, and remember, training inside the chamber isn't just like normal training. It has dense air, higher gravity, and it can drive someone insane. So it's also a form of mental training. It pushes people to their limits. After a few months, Trunks gets a lot stronger, and then eventually unlocks the Super Saiyan transformation. This means that Gohan will finally have a sparring partner strong enough to make a significant difference in Gohan's training, and then be able to increase his power significantly as well. By the end of the year in the time chamber, Trunks would be even stronger than what future Gohan was before when he went into the time chamber. And future Gohan is now much stronger than he was before, at least several times stronger. Gohan and Trunks are finally ready to take out the androids once and for all. So in the manga, we know that future Gohan was not anywhere close to the androids, as 17 vastly outclassed him and was using even much less than half his power. So Gohan and Trunks will need to get a lot stronger to be able to face them both. So Gohan will need to have gotten at least 2 times stronger, but we don't know exactly. The battle takes off and Gohan takes on 17 and Trunks takes on 18. The Z Fighters finally had 2 Super Saiyans to take on the androids. The battle begins and Gohan is outclassing 17. Gohan seems to be winning somewhat decisively. The only thing that keeping 17 alive was his unlimited stamina, which made him slowly draw closer to Gohan in power, because Gohan was losing stamina. Meanwhile, future Trunks was fighting on par with Android 18, showing that future Trunks had improved vastly with his power. Now, one thing I do want to remind you guys is that the androids in this timeline are much weaker than the androids in the main timeline, where Trunks actually goes back in time. Those androids are stronger, so they're fighting weaker androids right now. Gohan has the fight in his hands, but he can't take out 17 as fast as he would like, leading to an elongated battle where 17 is starting to slowly fight better and better against Gohan. Then Trunks makes a stupid move. Remember, he's still a really young kid, and he's going to make stupid mistakes. And he does, and he misses a block, and he takes a big punch from 18 right in his head. This makes him off guard and unbalanced, and 18 comes in to blitz him. She overpowers him, and with a massive punch to the face, knocks Trunks unconscious. He reverts to his base form and falls to the ground. This leads to a huge disadvantage for Gohan. He now has to take on 2 androids at the same time. He was already having a bit of trouble with just 17, but now he's having 18 coming with him. Gohan is beginning to go on the defensive instead of the offensive, as there's no way he can take on both androids at the same time. His stamina is dropping and he's starting to get desperate. He is starting to lose the battle. He thinks he's gonna die. He thinks he's the last hope now. He looks and he sees an unconscious Trunks. He begins to feel a deep sense of anger. It's all on him now. It's up to him to save the world. He clenches his fists and begins to raise his ki. His hair gets longer and his muscles get huge. He achieves the bulky Super Saiyan form, otherwise known as Super Saiyan Grade 3 or Ultra Super Saiyan. It's the one where Trunks used in the Cell against Perfect Cell, and it made him a lot stronger, but it made him really slow, and he had really bad stamina. So it's kind of a really pro-con transformation, but this will suffice against the androids. 17 tries to throw a couple punches at Gohan in his new form. They just bounce off of him. 17 goes in for another punch, and Gohan just catches his fist. He then proceeds to rip 17's arm off. He lifts his palm and erases 17 with a ki blast. 18 just stands and watches. She is shocked. Gohan pulls up his palm again and obliterates 18 with the ki blast. He reverts to his base form and breathes with a sigh of relief. He has done it. The androids are dead and the world's been saved. You killed my androids, a voice behind Gohan mutters. Gohan, shocked, turns around and he thinks he was Trunks. But he sees a weird green thing behind him. I was supposed to absorb these androids so I become the ultimate warrior. You must be another creation of Dr. Gero, Gohan says. Gohan doesn't even hesitate, and he goes to his Ultra Super Saiyan form and rushes Cell. Albeit, not as fast as he could, but it's because of the transformation. He punches him around and then destroys Cell with a Masenko. The timeline is safe, for now. Gohan then goes to pick up Trunks to take him to Bulma to let her know the great news. They arrive and Bulma is ecstatic. I guess we won't be needing this thing anymore then? As she points to the time machine. I guess not. Trunks wakes up and Gohan tells him everything. We finally did it. They celebrate a little bit and humanity begins to finally rebuild. Trunks and Gohan are revered as heroes to the world. They are the ones that both took out the androids, although it was mainly Gohan, but Trunks is pretty cool too, I guess. Bulma then says, now we need to go to Namek to wish everyone back. They can use their Dragon Balls, and their Dragon Balls, they can bring back people multiple times from death. And if we wish Piccolo back, then Kami will come back and we'll have the Earth Dragon Balls again. So Bulma gets another spaceship ready. Her and Trunks head off to Namek. But Gohan stays because he wants to protect Earth if anything were to happen. I mean, he just spent almost his entire life trying to save it. He wouldn't want to leave and then have something happen to it while he's gone. The Z Fighters are wished back, minus Goku, because he died of natural causes and you can't wish him back. The Supreme Kai and Kibito eventually show up on Earth to warn of Majin Buu, but Gohan, Trunks, and Vegeta, and the other Z Fighters, they would get much stronger over the time. They'd be training with each other for a few years, and they'd actually be able to stop Majin Buu from even being resurrected. He wouldn't get enough energy to come out, or they'd destroy his container or whatever. So he'd be destroyed. So honestly guys, I could do a part 2 to this if you want. I have several different paths this story could go if so. I don't know, I didn't really think about it too much. This is just, I kind of thought of this as just a one-off episode. But if you guys want it, then 1,000 likes and we'll do a part 2. Or if you guys just comment a lot saying you want it, then I'll do it. But so, just to recap a bit, future Gohan and future Trunks go in the time chamber. They become really strong. Now Trunks doesn't become as strong as he would in the time chamber in the main timeline where he can go ascended Super Saiyan as well. He's not that strong, but he's a lot stronger. Gohan, he's similar in power to that, but he's not as strong as what Super Vegeta was against Imperfect Cell, but he's somewhat close. And then after the few years of training before the Majin Buu debacle, then they get even more strong than that. And so they stop the androids, Gohan kills Cell, and it's safe. And then they defeat Majin Buu. I didn't really want to go in depth to Majin Buu. I just, because they just stopped him. They defeat Deborah and all his other minions. But again, guys, I think 2 different paths the story could go where I think I'm going to do either they go back in time anyways to try and get Goku to come to their timeline or something like that, or Beerus will come. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do both and just flip which one happens which, but what do you guys think? Comment down below to tell me what you think. Don't forget to like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you are new, and please do not forget to turn on notifications if you want to see my videos and if you want to see part 2. Please do not forget to follow me on Twitter. And I have 2 shoutouts for my Patreon supporters. I have a shout out to Daraj Payton and a shout out to Awesome Dude that only supports Broku on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for pledging $2 to me. That means a lot. You guys are really helping support me. Appreciate it. Again, if you guys want to get shout outs at the end, just donate $2 on Patreon and you'll get a shout out at the end of every video. But hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace out.